I'm Terry Moran in Washington, and we begin with breaking news. We are now learning that President-elect Donald Trump has announced that Susan Wiles will be his new White House chief of staff. ABC News senior reporter Catherine Faulders is live near Mar-a-Lago in West Palm Beach, Florida, the president-elect's residence. So, Catherine, let's start with this appointment. Who is Susan Wiles? What is significant about her becoming chief of staff at the White House?
She has been, Terry, on this campaign since the beginning as one of the leaders of Donald Trump's campaign. She is known inside the campaign as somebody who is in the background, is quiet during meetings, doesn't raise her voice, really attempts to facilitate all of the right people being around the president-elect. So that's essentially what she's known for, and she's honestly going to be the best or the first woman White House chief of staff. I think that's important. I think she is the first woman White House chief of staff. And many Republicans, in Republican circles, there's been chatter that she would be the best pick for this job. Of course, there's all sorts of jockeying, lots of back and forth, but it's significant, and it's sending, at least what the Trump transition team is trying to do, is send a message that by appointing Susie, the chief of staff, the next chief of staff in the White House, that somebody who's been in politics for a long time, they want to posture, at least while all these different names are being thrown around for cabinet positions, that she will be the gatekeeper, somebody who will attempt to keep the right people around President Trump when he goes to the White House. So clearly this is a decision that many Republicans behind the scenes, Republicans on Capitol Hill, felt like was the best decision. And it's symbolic because it is the first staffing announcement that President-elect Trump has made.
And you describe it well. It's an enormously powerful position, the gatekeeper to the Oval Office. There have been chiefs of staff over some presidents kind of take advantage of that. They let information and people go in that they think that agrees with their ideas. It's hard to get the trust of a president, and it looks like certainly Susan Wiles has the trust of President-elect Trump. And I'm kind of wondering just the mood there, if you could talk a little bit about it. Look, this is a smashing big day for Donald Trump and his team and the Republican Party. How do they feel? How does it feel down there?
It's a little odd down here, Terry, to be honest with you, because it's quiet. He hasn't had any official press events, if you will. We haven't seen him on camera today or yesterday. There's some chance that he might do something tomorrow. But the reality is he's at Mar-a-Lago behind me. I'm told by sources that Susie Wiles has been over there. And his transition team is working about 2 miles away, getting all of the vetting done in their office spaces, building out their staff list, who they want to be the next chief of staff. But I was struck by what you were just saying. And it, of course, reminded me to all of my days covering the first Trump administration, the role of the chief of staff being the gatekeeper, managing the incomings of the Oval Office, who the president is around in the White House. And remember, Trump had 4 chiefs of staff. He did not keep one around for very long. What's striking to me about Susie, at least in this case, is she has been at the campaign since the very beginning here. There hasn't been turnover as it relates to her. There have been some folks inside the campaign who have tried to push her out or get her to leave, but that hasn't happened. So the question is, and of course we're going into these next 4 years covering Trump, how does that role evolve? Does she remain successful in that way, sticking around for that long and being able to manage Trump when he's back in the White House? That will be an interesting test for her.
And Catherine, I'm interested in Robert F. Kennedy Jr., right? He dropped his own campaign to sign on with Donald Trump. And so what is his role going to be? What are you learning? He certainly describes it in very big ways. Will it be?
He does describe it in very big ways. He essentially says that Trump has given him the authority to oversee all the health agencies. Trump has said that publicly, but behind the scenes, will he be the next HHS secretary? I don't think so, but he's weighing in on who that person should be, who should be in these top health roles, essentially running the government. Now, what role is that for RFK Jr.? I don't know, but what's concerning about that is he's been over here. He was one of the first people, Terry, at Mar-a-Lago with Trump after he won the election. I'm told that his team, that he was over there again today. So he's clearly having an influence. It's concerning to some, some who view his views as radical, frankly. He has been known to push some conspiracy theories on vaccines. He's a vaccine skeptic. Is he recommending people for jobs like that? So that's what's raised alarms behind the scenes among some. I think that he will have a big role in terms of input, given that he has been with Trump the past 2 days.
Right. Yeah, on the other hand, vaccine skepticism probably a big issue for a lot of people who voted for Donald Trump, and he would know that. Catherine Fallers, you're down there reporting on it for us. We'll see you again, I know. Thanks.